Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, plays Abiding by AFTERBIRTH Plus. Good runs, you know, that's gonna make a lot more sense in context with the anecdote I'm about to tell you. No, I didn't take up jogging, by the way. The runs have been good lately. Dude, TQSZ, GN3M, terrible DPS. Like, I'm just calling it like I see it right now. But to get Pyro plus Remote Detonator, that's a cool combination. Very... Help me! Can I speak to the manager, please? That's what I felt that voice was most like. It was a very can I speak to your manager voice. But yeah, this is a cool combo. I don't know how much HP we have, which is the scary thing about what's happening right now. But apart from that, everything's hunky-dory, dude. So I gotta tell you, you know, let's not beat around the bush here. I've taken a lot of flack over the years for having a deliberately exaggerated position that food poisoning is not real. My whole point with this, because it's like reading only the headline of an article and then getting mad about it. But I do also have to say it's like the headline being deliberately misleading, and then when people are misled, you go, well, yo, you didn't read the article. Well, you shouldn't have made your opinion so egregious then that it made me mad. You know, you misrepresent your own position. Congratulations, you played yourself. Anyway, last night, Kate and I drove a little bit out of the city. Let's do it, dude. I'm ready. Let's give it a try. Hold on. Drowsy. Tears down. That's a real bummer. Health up, though. That's pretty good. Which means we might have been at 0 health. Or like half of a red heart. Which means we could still die in one hit. Or it could have just been an actual health up pill. You know, instead of being a health down pill that turned into a health up pill. We got to be a little cautious, though, is what I'm trying to say. The bombs and remote deaths, they're working out extremely well here. Anyway, Kate and I we went a little bit out of the city. Had dinner at a Korean fried chicken restaurant with our good friend, Corey. Perhaps you've heard of him. Twitch.tv/FlackBlag. And the Korean... Oh, dude, we were a little close. In fact, we had 0 HP to begin with. The Korean fried chicken... If you've never had Korean fried chicken, by the way, is delicious. Is fantastic. A little, like, drier than, I guess, American South fried chicken. Please let me go. But drier in, like, a good way. Like, crispy instead of, like, juicy. Don't get me wrong. I can get down with even some trash fried chicken like KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, but Korean fried chicken is a little bit different, not much, and still very delicious. So I was excited. The place that we went to was Kate's, like, oh my god, dude, I'm getting my butt kicked here. Was Kate's, I don't even want to say second choice. It might have been like her 5th choice, because her first choice had apparently shut down, despite having been there since, you know, she was a youngster. So we went to a new place that I will not name for many reasons, one of which is that I can't prove that they gave me food poisoning. I understand that, like, with most foodborne illness, you know, if you can still go to work, you probably don't actually have food poisoning. But anyway, let me give you the whole restaurant experience here, okay? So we come in, we sit down, everything's normal, you know, they seated us at a place that, I mean, they just seated us at a table, it wasn't weird. I'm trying too hard to build the anecdote. But I felt like that, you know, glitch in the matrix sort of thing. Like most Korean restaurants, and it's gonna sound like it's offensive, but, you know, if you think it's offensive, go to some Korean restaurants. I promise you will experience what I'm about to describe. Like most Korean restaurants, they were playing K-pop when we went in. Nothing wrong with it. Kate's a big fan. I dabble from time to time. They were playing some songs I recognized by a group called Blackpink. Song 1, okay. Hit him with that doo-doo doo-doo doo-doo. Song 2, don't know it. Song 3, hit him with that doo-doo doo-doo doo-doo. And that's when I said to myself, something's not right here. We're in a professional place of business, and they've played the same song 2 times within 10 minutes. You know, it's not like it's an affront to my sanity or something like that. It's just not something you see that often. Like, even when Despacito or, you know, Uptown Funk are popping off, the radio station is not like, I know we just played it 2 songs ago, but we're going to play it again. Here, they were like, dude, that song slaps so much. The song's so nice, we played it twice. And they played it a couple more times over the course of our existence there. You might be saying, NL, this isn't that weird so far. Okay. The whole thing felt like a Kitchen Nightmares episode, is all I'm going to say. So, you know, I am an idiot. Please let me get something from this. I need the HP, dude. Give me blue candle. Like, we can still make the bombs work for us. We need the DPS, to be quite frank with you. And I think if we don't take it, we actually run the risk of dying before I finish the anecdote. Unfortunately, thank God for the spirit art. Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit better. You know, I got a Diet Coke. Kate and Corey, we're splitting a couple beers because they're cooler than I am. And help me though. I can't kill you. I'm sorry. You're too strong. Literally took us, I would say, 20 to 25 minutes for the drinks to be brought to the table. We also ordered food at the same time, but we'll get to that in a bit. Took 20 to 25 minutes for the food, or for the drinks to be brought to the table. During which time, we could see, because it's kind of almost like an open concept sort of thing. You know, there's like 10 people working at the restaurant, and like people are just not doing anything, but they're also not doing what we asked for, which was, can we give you money in exchange for, you know, goods and services. These must be books. Okay, give it a sec. I don't want to keep either of them, but I'm happy with where we're at now. DPS is almost like just slightly below average. So it got to the point, you know, like we were watching the, I mean, here's the thing, okay? Beer is like the easiest thing to serve in the world. You just go, you get the pitcher, you go to the tap, you fill it up, and you bring it out. If you're in a busy kind of bar establishment, sure, it's not that easy. You got throughput issues, people are shouting at you, you know, hey, can I get this, but a little less head, please? I get it, you know, people are pains in the butt. But we were just like, you know, hey, can we have a pitcher of X? And, you know, we're just watching the empty tap while the servers, like, talk to one another. At one point, and this is going to sound fictional, made up, but they actually went to the tap and poured themselves a beer because one of them was on break from work, and then she just started drinking it while eating at her table. And I was like, you know, I'm not a prude. I think, you know, having one beer at work does not make you a bad employee, but there's a couple of, you know, drinking at work just in general, it looks bad to a lot of customers, especially when those customers ordered something that you then got for yourself. But then beyond that, my drink just comes in a can that's like in the refrigerator that I can see. Like if you got that much trouble bringing the drink out within, like, I mean, even like 5 minutes is okay. 20 minutes is just egregious. I'll just go over. Like, I'm good for it. I'll be like, hey, by the way, I had a Coke Zero, and they'll be like, oh, okay, here you go. That's another $2.50 or whatever. But no, just it could not muster it. Anyway, when the fried chicken came out, I was like starving. This was probably like 40 minutes into our time at this establishment. Bit into it, because you know, you're expecting, if the food takes a long time to come out, that is going to be piping hot, because the only reason for it to take forever to come out in a logical person's mind is because it took forever to cook. Came out cold. Not cool, not freezing, to be fair, but cold. And I was like, when I bit in, I was like, the chicken's cold. And Corey and Kate were like, how is that possible? And I was like, try it for yourself. And tried it for themselves. It was cold. It's definitely below room temperature, which is unfathomable to me. Anyway, it also was not very good. But I ate a bunch of it because I was hungry. Woke up this morning, and I genuinely felt hungover. Like, you know, I've had my share of hangovers over the years. This felt like, I would describe it as like a 4 out of 10 hangover. Which is not good. Normally, when you have a hangover, you know, at least as you're having the hangover, a little bit of nausea, a little bit of, you know, gastrointestinal distress, you're also going like, well, you know, it was nice to see old friends and we had a good time. Sure, my judgment got impaired. Probably shouldn't have had that last round, but, you know, it was a fun day or fun night, you know? This time I was just like, dude, this is the cost of eating that crappy chicken? Anyway, I don't want to belabor the point too much. I'm not actually, like, I'm not nauseous anymore. I just feel a little icky. And, like, you know, using the bathroom more frequently than I would normally be using the bathroom. It's pretty mild, but simultaneously, I was like, man. It really, I honestly have to say, it just felt like a Kitchen Nightmares episode. Like, I went to the bathroom, and, you know, I don't want to get too forward about it, but I peed in the toilet. And after I peed in the toilet, I flushed, and it just didn't flush. Like, the water just spun in place. And I was like, dude, this is... Again, I do have to say, in the restaurant's defense, who knows, dude? Who knows, you know? What else did I consume yesterday? I got a sandwich for lunch from a local cafe. That could just as easily, despite tasting delicious, that could have been what messed with my stomach. Or maybe it was something I ate in Pittsburgh a couple of days ago. Or maybe it's a little bit of remnant jet lag from having, you know, traveled across some time zones a couple of days ago. Or, you know, maybe I drank too much coffee or something. Like, there's a variety of other things that could explain it. But, come on, dude. And at this point, people are like, you know, why did you, you know, continue to eat the chicken if it was bad and also cold? And, well, I do want to say it was cooked. Like, it was fully cooked. To the best of my knowledge, at least. It was like, you know, the color of cooked chicken throughout. But one answer is that I was hungry. Another answer is that after being in that restaurant for such a long time, basically just wanted to slam food into my gullet and then get the heck out of there and, you know, slam the 1-star review on Yelp on the way out. Never come back ever again. And the other one is still fried chicken. You could be like, dude, this fried chicken is not very good. And I would be like, oh, really? Let me try 3 or 4 pieces just to see. It's nature's perfect food. This run is scaring the crap out of me right now, by the way. But yeah. The other Kitchen Nightmare stuff was like, you know, the wall of the restaurant was like, we're name of restaurant, chicken and pizza. But it was like really old and faded, and the menu did not have pizza on it at all. It did have chicken, but then it was like chicken and more, you know, I wouldn't say traditional, but like, you know, Korean foods. It's not like you're eating... Well, I mean, it was more traditional Korean food, I guess, so... you know, it's like on Kitchen Nightmares where they go there and they're like, yeah, we used to be like a pizzeria, but then the owner started making Greek food for whatever reason, and nobody likes the Greek food, everybody just wants the pizza, but whatever. Fried chicken and pizza is a thing in Korea as well, at least when I lived there. Like, probably like 1 in 10 restaurants was like, we're a pizzeria that also sells fried chicken. By the way... delicious. Maybe not the best thing for you, to put it frankly. But anyway, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Like I'll get over it. But I was just stunned. We eat out fairly frequently. I would even say more than fairly frequently. And to be honest, I don't. Despite how I act at the grocery store, I don't pretend to act at the grocery store. I guess. You know, I don't have that much problem with service in general. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, you know, they could have asked me for if I wanted the bill 10 minutes earlier, and that would have been nice, but whatever. But this time, this is like a once every 2 or 3 years sort of situation. Like, the last time I remember having service this bad was when Kate and I went to a sushi restaurant, which is, again, a Kitchen Nightmares episode. We could get bookworm, too. Because the food that we ordered is raw, and then it took like 90 minutes to show up, and when we were like, why did it take so long? They were like, well, if you wanted your food fast, you should have ordered takeout. And then we were just like, oh, okay, well, I don't know, man. Most of the other dining experience, the vast majority of the other dining experiences, mild inconveniences at worst. This one and the sushi one were just, they were in a league of their own, but not like the movie, which is good. Like the concept, which in this case is bad. I mean, just in general, being in a league of your own would kind of be... It'd be bad for professional sports, right? Who are you going to play against? Well, now there's 2 of them, so they're in a league with each other. Anyway, I'm interested to know, like, what your worst restaurant, like, dining experiences are. I'm trying to think, like... This would not crack the top 3. It would definitely, I would expect it to maybe be in the top 10. You know, to take several... Basically, it's almost fast food. And then to have it take like 90 minutes and also not be even hot and maybe have contributed to foodborne illness, it's pretty bad. But I did, I mean, there's a couple of weird ones. When we went to PAX East a couple of years ago, we went to a fondue restaurant. You'll never be able to guess which one. And when we got in there was nobody in the restaurant. It still took us like maybe 45 minutes to an hour to be seated, despite there being nobody in the restaurant. But I will say that I'm pretty sure the reason for that is because when we walked in, we heard an extremely loud clattering as if somebody had fallen down the stairs carrying something heavy. So I believe there was like an injury situation. I'm sympathetic to that while simultaneously also being like, I'm not like, well, they should have seated us anyway. But like, I'm like, it was inconvenient for us. I'm not saying, you know, hey, try not falling down the stairs, dummy. I'm just saying it's gotta be up there on the list as well. Just for sheer inconvenience. And as a child, I went with my parents to a restaurant that may still exist called the Lobster Trap. Out in the Quinte region of Ontario. And, you know, the service was an extreme mess. Took forever to get seated, forever to get the food. And then our waitress had a big, like, screaming match with her boss and then quit before the food came out. And, you know, for a long time we were just like, I feel ya, but also, like, really hungry. I mean, I wasn't like that. I was like 8, and I was like, this rules. This is very entertaining. Dinner and a show. But, you know, my parents were like... You know, I mean, I get it. It's not... I mean, you know, there's always there's a little miniature gaslight that comes out of when you bring up these stories online. That people will be like, oh, I see, a man fell down the stairs and died, but you're just worried you won't get your food fast enough. I mean, okay, if you want to phrase it like that, yeah, it makes you sound like a real jerk for sure. But simultaneously, like, you know, I'm not a doctor. Nor a restaurant manager. Like, I'm sympathetic to the fact that it might take a little longer for things to happen, but simultaneously, I'm also like, well, it was a disaster. Oh, and this woman has been harassed by her boss, and you don't even care. You just want your lobster. Well, you know, if they make the meal free, we'll talk. But until then, I have to admit that, yes, that's, I mean, I'm sympathetic to the cause, but simultaneously... I did come into the restaurant to eat, not get involved in a labor dispute. I just have to remind myself, the same people who bring that up are the people who start spamming lion late when I'm 45 seconds early. Oh, so my gastrointestinal distress means nothing to you? It's just how quickly you get to your content? You know what? That's fair. Unless you're not a subscriber, in which case, top right. What do we got here? Empty Vessel? Dude, because we got Empty Vessel, I felt compelled to have a chance at that one. And I regret it, but Empty Vessel is just beautiful. This run is still really not good. I'm super stoked that I took Blue Candle, because our DPS is absolutely horrible. We should be using our bombs more often. And thank God for the invincibility. Duh, Emperor card. I'll tell you what, hit me with the sun first. All three of these cards are great. We can't take them all with us, you know? So do we want Emperor or Joker? We definitely want Joker, I think, which means what are we going to do with the Emperor card? We could use it to teleport out of the curse room, having gone in there, but... I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it, like, the Emperor card might, on a run like this, actually be more advantageous. We're definitely not going to make Boss Rush. Anyway, the second part of that story is that, you know, after dinner, Kate went to get a bubble tea, and she's telling me this story secondhand, so I'm going to relay what I heard from her. It's, like, close to the fried chicken place. And she was like, when I was in there, it was so awkward, because there was a lady who, like, had ordered a bubble tea, obviously, in a very specific way, and then it had come out with, I don't know, ice when she asked for no ice, and then... You know, they were like, you know, we can Great item, by the way. We can remake it for you. And then she went like, no. Give it here. Give it here. Here, I'll take it. No. Just give it to me. I'll take it. And then she kept doing like the way you like call over a dog, which is actually, it's a thing in Korea. Is like when you want to get, right, we can't fly anymore and I'm dumb. When you want to call somebody over to you, you do palm facing down and then like your fingers move towards your body. I know, it's different than we do it here, if you live here, which I do. But it's a thing, because if you do it the other way, the way that people do it, palm up, and then, you know, your fingers kind of slap your palm, that's considered, like, extremely disrespectful. And she was doing that as a Korean area town, so, like, it was meant as a slight. But then, that wasn't enough for her, dude. As she left, she went, you know, it's not that hard. Just pay attention next time. And, like, slammed the door. I was like, man, this place sucks. I do sympathize with that lady to some extent, because I was like, man, we just had some horrible service. But also, like, why don't you just do what I did and quietly endure, and then afterwards just stiff them on the tip? Because honestly, like, I'm just gonna level with you. It takes a lot for me to stiff on the tip. This was definitely one such situation where it was warranted. The meal itself was not cheap either. I hate to say it because I know that people are going to be like, maybe it's not the workers' fault. Maybe it was the man. They're understaffed. They were not understaffed, by the way. But, you know, I'm sympathetic to those issues. But also, I hate to say it, not really my problem in this situation. This one's not really my problem. I know it always starts an argument about tipping in general, just to mention tipping. Tipping's weird. They don't do it in some parts of the world. They do it here. That's fine. I've recently actually upped my tip amount. I used to be a 15% individual, and I've moved into the 20% bracket, you know, pay it forward a little bit. 15% has now become culturally on the low side. I know you're like, F that, dude. Sure, that's fine. I don't really care how much you tip. I'm not a better person because I tip more, and I don't believe I'm a worse person because I tip less. But, and I don't believe that you're a worse person if you tip less. So, and just generally speaking, I don't consider, like, service at a restaurant to be an audition, you know? And what that means is that if you serve mediocre, you're getting a 20% tip. If you serve amazingly, you're getting a 20% tip. If you serve the average, you're getting a 20% tip. In extremely rare circumstances, I'll dock, you know, I basically go like 20 or 0. And the 0 is like a once every 200 sort of thing. And I might go up to, you know, the only time I tip more than like 20% is if it's like something has happened that extremely warrants it. Or alternatively, if the meal is like $4, then I'll be like, you know what? Here's like a $2 tip. Because, like, I mean, that's 50%, sure. But, like, I'm not going to just drop 65 cents on the table and be like, sorry, them's the breaks, sweetheart. Like, I don't carry that sort of change around, all right? Tipping, I get that it's weird. I mean, what I find annoying about tipping is when people are, like, they get super up their own butts about it, and they're like, well, they didn't do this, this, and this, so instead of my usual 20%, I'm going to dock them down to a 17.4, and that's like, I get it, you think you're a big shot. Like, there was this viral thing going around for a little bit, and it went viral twice. Once was people that were like, that's a good idea, I'm going to do that, and once was people being like, look at these jerks. And what it was is, you know, when you sit down at a restaurant, you leave 5 $1 bills on the table. And then anytime something happens that makes you, you know, not want to, you know, like it's a slight, like they didn't refill your water fast enough, you take one of the dollar bills away. And then, you know, they always tell the story as if like, and that's the best service I've ever had. But I don't know if you realize that those people have probably taken down your license plate number and are gonna come to your house and murder you because you're making them like dance for a single dollar bill, and it's not 1980 when that could actually buy you, you know, a couple liters of gasoline. You know, yeah. Thanks for I really appreciate it. You know, that's 0.001% of my monthly rent. Well, that doesn't make any sense, but You get the idea. I don't know why it's always like people that are like, well, have you know, I'm a pretty big deal. I'm the 3rd largest refrigerator salesman in the Tri-County area. And I don't tolerate mediocrity in my life. That's why when I go to a restaurant where $5 would somehow constitute a good tip for a dinner for a family of 4, I make the service staff dance for their pennies, basically. It makes you sound like an extreme jerk. It's undignified. Let's be like, for the person involved, it's undignified. That's a jerk maneuver. I'm not pro tipping or anti tip. I'll just tell you, dude. When you go to Japan, you go to Korea, there's no tipping, and it rules. Now, what's the downside of that? You're expected, if you want something, you basically shout. Sumimasen, you know, chogyo, whatever. You're expected to kind of shout. They don't come around and go like, how's it? Like right as soon as you take your first bite, how's everything doing? Can I get you folks anything else? They don't do that, which also rules, by the way. But anyway, Corey brought up a good point, which is like, you know, at some restaurants here, they have like Korean or Japanese level service, but also you're expected to tip on top of that. And that's a whole, I mean, it's a paradox, but also it's because of the labor laws. And, you know, I've never run a restaurant in my life, so, you know, I just kind of want to opt out of the whole situation with the default tip. You know, people are like, well, if you want to not tip, then you should petition the restaurant owners to have to pay a livable minimum wage. And I'm like, dude, first off, my voting record, you know, is not public, but you would be pleased. Let me put it that way. But secondarily, I'm busy too, dude. I don't have time. Just so I can avoid putting an extra, you know, 13 cents into the tip jar at the coffee shop, now I gotta go to the city council meeting because you can't go because you're working. Like, that's a lot to put on the customer in that situation. We've already seen our deal with the devil here. Dude, this is like one of the worst runs I've had over this like 8 or 9 games that we've been winning. I think we'll win? I think there's an okay chance that we'll win. I would probably bet on the over here. But I also think that we'll probably... I would be surprised if we didn't end up triggering Monkey's Paw. Let's put it that way. Anyway, it's like everything. It's always a contentious issue. Oh, the king didn't get warm fried chicken. Oh, I'm sorry that the fried chicken that I slaved over the deep fryer to make, was it a little tepid for you? You can always make people seem, you know, like they're being unreasonable in a situation like that. The vast majority... You know why I talk about You know why I talk about bad food anecdotes more than good food anecdotes? Because when you talk about good food anecdotes, it just makes you seem like you're living the life of a middle-aged lord. Middle-aged? That's not what... Medieval. That's what I was going for. Not quite middle-aged yet, hopefully. But you know, we went to an amazing restaurant owned by Uwe Boll the other night. It had a delicious pumpkin stew and a winter squash remoulade. You know, it just makes people are like, why am I watching this guy? But if I go, yeah, I went to Burger King and the chicken sandwich gave me the runs. People are like, yeah, dude, this is my man. And what was that terrible sound? Oh, it's a question mark. I see. I'm like, I'm happy to be both guys, you know? And I switched to the company I'm in, you know? And when I'm having dinner with fancy folks, I'm like, this lamb Turin is fantastic. The way they fried the new Yukon Gold potatoes in duck fat, oh my god, I gotta try that myself. What's your favorite type of potato? Oh, you like the small red potatoes? I'm a fingerling man myself. No pun intended. What do you mean that's creepy? Anyway, and then, you know, on the NLSS, I'm like, dude, I was at KFC yesterday and I ate half of the plastic fork accidentally. I can ride the line, dude. It's called versatility. Variety's the spice of life, sweetheart. Please, God, I beg you. First off, don't squander your deal with the devil chance. Second off, give me a good deal with the devil and a good boss item. We deserve it, dude. I can't. It's not worth it. You know, okay, maybe it's worth it. It's a little spotty, but to get that 100% chance on the next floor, I'm going to bet on it being worth something. You know what would be a nice compromise that would also work out pretty well for us, I think? Judas's Shadow. Judas's Shadow, double our damage, which would honestly put it at a reasonable level. It wouldn't be amazing. And then on top of that, trigger Empty Vessel. It would give us a downright good shot of having a chance, I think. Obviously, there's other stuff, like Abaddon would probably be substantially better. Trigger Empty Vessel as well, give us more HP, give us a nice damage bonus without necessitating our own demise. I'm kind of tempted to play that Judgment. I'm just worried that walking on the spikes... Man, ain't no joke, I'd like to... There's an item that rhymes with joke, surely. What do you think the best Smash Mouth song is, dude? Because, like, I'm not trying to just be controversial. I don't think it's All-Star. I'm not sure if it's Walking on the Sun. It's definitely not Why Can't We Be Friends, in my opinion. Because I don't... It's not that I don't respect cover songs. It's just that they have to be so much better than the original for me to give them respect. Because otherwise, I'm just like, yeah, I get it. You know? It's been 20 years since this song came out and was popular, and now you're doing it again. Amazing. You must be some kind of artistic genius, Weezer. I mean, I'll take it. Had to land it. Landed it. Had to land it. Did not land it, dude. Oh, thank God. Just give me a Spirit Heart. One Spirit Heart, I'm sitting, I mean, not pretty at all, but like starting to maybe get a little bit. Oh, this is an issue. Also, so many dubious items. Samson's Chains, Malph's Kidney Stone. I know it's not Malph's Kidney Stone, but like, what if it was, dude? Like, so many items that just slightly screw you. Please, I shouldn't just be shooting this guy over and over. I really want that Demon Heart to live. But, oh, let's go. Not Demon Heart, Eternal Heart. And it did live. Thank you very much. Don't even worry about that key, dude. Just get the heck out of town. This has been a very, very bizarre run. And I'm not sure if that's just because of the general malaise I'm feeling. I can't stress enough, by the way, and this isn't meant to be like an I'm 30 bit, but waking up feeling like you drank last night without having drank last night, it just blows. When I was like 19, I could go out, stay out until like, you know, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Well, stay out until 2 and then, you know, hang out until 3 or 4 in the morning. Wake up at like 10, 6 hours of sleep. And they'd be like, how do you feel? And I'd be like, well, dude, I got a pretty nasty headache. And I'm like a little nauseous, but I'm also 19. So if you need me to like lift a couple cement blocks right now, I could totally do it. We'll just sweat it out, you know? To have a pseudo hangover without having actually done anything to warrant the hangover except making an ill-advised food choice at an establishment that's existed for apparently like 20 years but still sucks somehow, it's a real slap in the face. Ah! That's fine. It's actually fine because we took the goat head. In its own unique way, we're now vindicated about our goat head pickup because we would have lost our deal with the devil chance. Now, if the deal with the devil sucks, I'm never gonna forgive you. You know what? I forgot about another dubious item here. The eyeball tears. We gotta check. Lil Brim, you know? It's not bad, obviously. If I had seen that it was Little Brim, would I have still taken it? Sorry, I misspoke. Would I have still taken it? Perhaps to subvert your expectations, I think I might have. I think a really important factor for us here is to put ourselves on a half-heart interval. That way, I think that's how Monkey's Paw is triggered. You know, I probably should know, but simultaneously, on most Isaac runs, Monkey's Paw does not end up being super relevant. So I'm willing to forgive myself that modest injustice. Or the modest injustice too, Gods Among Us. Should I play the new Mortal Kombat? See, I mean, I don't expect an Isaac episode to go on this long. I came in with one hot and ready anecdote, good to go, and I was like, that should carry me. And now all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, what do you mean I gotta keep talking? Mortal Kombat seems fun to me because, I mean, I've played some Mortal Kombat in my life. The most Mortal Kombat I ever played was Mortal Kombat 3. I had some Sub-Zero combos that are probably still in muscle memory somewhere. And I played a decent amount of Injustice, which I get is, you know, similar. By a decent amount, I mean like probably 20 hours, which is not that much, of course. And in general, I mean, I like Smash, but for other fighting games, I mean, we gotta pick it up, unfortunately. For other fighting games, I mean, I played a decent amount of Street Fighter 4. I mean, that's about it. Persona 4 Arena, but it had an auto combo. But it appeals to me because it's so stylish, you know? It's violent. And I don't mean that like that's something I crave. I just mean it's something that's... It's always funny to see the fatalities and just how gross the X-rays and stuff like that are. But I'm always worried about getting invested in a franchise that's existed for so long with what I would describe as a relatively high skill floor. Because I think there's almost like a selfish gene sort of part of human nature, if that makes sense. And just try to get Samson's chain in front of you if possible. Not possible. Sorry I bothered you. Yikes. What do I mean by this? Well, I mean like people that play Mortal Kombat are always like, you should obviously play Mortal Kombat. And then I really think that part of that, whether explicit or not, whether conscious or not is a better way to describe what I'm trying to say here, is it stems from a desire to have more fresh meat. You know? Like I was recommending, yeah, Dan, buy Smash. Yeah, Mouth, buy Smash. Let's play. You know why? Free wins, dude. Best part of a fighting game? Free wins. For me, at least. So I don't think people are like, you know, hey, you should buy it and then lose to me, because that'll be fun for me specifically. But I think inside of the subconscious, there's a certain element of that. No, dude, I wanted to see if I could get the second secret room. Okay, I'm very proud of ourselves for having gotten this far. Rubber cement seems cool. The body seems incredible. Now we gotta think, though. I mean, obviously we're taking the body, but... Okay, obviously. Dude, we gotta take Epic Fetus. You know, I'll give it one room. Were it not for being hit there, I probably would have been like, you know what, you got me. This is a cool run. We don't need to take Epic Fetus and McDonald's eyes it. Make it all the same. But I honestly, I want to live. And we've put in the time. Let's see what our... I was hoping they would hit like a little... Like they'd send out some shots that would fracture into bones or something like that. You might, by the way, be saying this is worse. I'm just here to tell you, it's not. It's substantially better. At least from my perspective so far. Yes, we only have 3.94 damage, but to like not have to worry about whether or not we have kidney stone and blah blah, and the eyeball tears when they don't hit linger forever, and is that actually a problem? I don't know. It's kind of hoping our luck stat would, you know, meet us halfway here, give us some extra chests. Can't hit me, dude. I'm in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, launching overhead bombs, trying to keep away from, no, trying to raise my streak to 9, and I'm confident I can do it, yeah. Oh no, I've bled too much. I've actually said too much on this run. You know, my throat had a little tickle, and I mean, this ain't gonna make it any better, but life goes on, dude. Life goes on. I'll tell you one thing, though. I ain't ever going back to that fried chicken place. And I would encourage you to not either. But I can't in good conscience say that they gave me food poisoning. What I do feel confident saying is that I suspect that one of their pieces of chicken was a vector for foodborne illness. Now my new opinion, it evolved from food poisoning isn't real to food poisoning isn't bad. Because I'm like, hey, whatever, I'm working. Giving my sphincter a workout simultaneously. Yeah, I saw that damage coming. Ah, I didn't see that one coming. You got me good, you son of a gun. You know, I like to put on a happy face whenever possible. I think I've been doing a better job about it. But I gotta tell you, well, let's rephrase. I'm not gonna be sad to see this one go. I'm not gonna be happy to see it go necessarily, because, you know, it's always fun to play games. But I'll tell. Oh, that's Bookworm, dude. For no reason now. I'll tell you, I'm not gonna be sad to see it go. And with 4 HP, are we in an acceptable position, you think, to get away from me, by the way? Oh, dude, Bookworm actually works with Epic Fetus. Why? So many dubious items, dude. I will say in hindsight, it's easy to say this in hindsight because we don't have to deal with the actual damage that might have been caused as a result, but we did basically ruin Little Brim by taking Epic Fetus. It would have probably been a more entertaining finish to stick with our tier effects, which were actually getting pretty cool. Because we got Anti-Grav, we got Bookworm, Little Brim still would have been, you know, functional and useful. And instead we kind of, I wouldn't say squander this, you know. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? We made a choice, and the choice was to take what was probably the easier win instead of the cooler win. You know why I took that choice? Because we've been dealing with the repercussions of this seed being kind of garbage for like 38 minutes. I'm happy to have made it. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya! I gotta stop the recording. See ya!